Welcome to the Lunar Eclipse on April 14th at 10:50 p.m. And right now, it seems like everything is going along pretty nicely. You'll probably see me move the camera around a few times here, but nothing too serious. It's just because it's on a manual tripod. Right, and now I'm posting it to Facebook. So if you guys are seeing this on Facebook, come and join. So I'm logged in right now, and yeah, feel free to ask me any questions at any time that you'd like. I'm going to readjust the camera here, and please do apologize here. Okay. It's going to be on the lower left and should move to the upper right. So technically, the lunar eclipse should begin at about 10:58, which is about 7 minutes away at this point, and should last until about midnight. Now, this is not just any normal lunar eclipse. This is a lunar eclipse plus an alignment. So if you look closely out at night, above the moon, you should see Mars as this red, brilliant dot outside. And let's see here. Yeah. So both Mars and the moon should be directly aligned with each other. And let me boost up some of this brightness here because we're looking a little dark. It might just be the camera lens. Or it might actually be coming the eclipse. Oops, I'm losing the moon there. Now you might be wondering why I sound like I'm talking through something out of NASA here. It's actually a Bluetooth system that I'm using at the moment to minimize the bit rate being sent out so I can be more live with you, because what happens is from time to time when I do online streaming, the time in which I get responses in my live feed versus what I'm actually doing tends to deviate longer and longer, so I'm trying to minimize the amount of data I'm sending out. So it's going to be a nice calm night. Nothing, too exciting. No explosions. This is not like, a Michael Bay movie or anything like that. So if you're outside, come join me. We can all watch the moon, get all ecliptic together. Now, if you guys experience any issues, feel free to let me know either on Facebook or on here, and I'll get to you guys as soon as I can. Or feel free to leave me questions on Facebook or on here. Tap this over slightly. Now, I'm using a Panasonic camera to do all the displaying. And the camera's a little bit older, but it tends to show really nicely. And the eclipse is not going to happen instantaneously. It's going to happen over the period of 1 hour. So that means I'm going to be sitting here for 1 whole hour talking to you guys. And I'm looking up in the sky right now, and I'm already beginning to see it. If you look down to the lower left, and it's starting right now. It's starting to take on the bottom left-hand side there. It's the darkest point of the moon. I think Jack is watching live as well, so hi, Jack. Yes, moon will certainly take its time. Kind of feel like Bob Ross right now. Tonight we're just going to be painting moon and darkness. Some more emo. Never mind. Now, once in a while, you're going to start hearing these weird birds out in the distance if you listen really carefully. It's like this, and those are actually peacocks. A friend of mine by the name of Troy lived right across the ditch from me, and he had pet peacocks. Lots and lots and lots of them. And so every once in a while, you'll hear them make tons of noise. But again, feel free to leave any comments that you'd like, and I'll be happy to answer any of them. And if it's too loud, let me know. And if you noticed, from the stream, the moon is getting progressively brighter. And I'm getting bitten by tons of mosquitoes, but besides the fact, the moon is getting brighter, and it's getting brighter on one side, so it's actually happening right now. Look at that. Has anybody got any, moon jokes? I got one for you. Knock, knock. Who's there? Moon. Moon who? I'm all out of ideas. I don't know. I'm horrible at telling jokes. So, some of you, I know, won't be able to see the moon tonight just because of a, immense cloud cover. So this is one of the reasons why I'm wanting to stream it, so that those of you who can't see it, either because you're not in the United States or that there's so much cloud cover you won't be able to actually notice it, it should hopefully be okay. And I'm looking over here, and I'm hopefully should have enough space between the moon and this gigantic tree in our backyard that's blocking out about 90% of the night sky. So I think we should be okay. Now, these events don't happen that often. There'll probably be about 2 other lunar eclipses this year, and that might be it for a while, just because the alignment is so similar for the upcoming weeks that it will happen again and again. But after that, it's nothing for a while, especially this rare with the moon and Mars both being aligned. Again, if you're just tuning in right now, if you have the ability to look outside, you should be able to see both the moon and this little red dot slightly to the northeast of it, like the 1 o'clock position. That little red dot out there is actually not a star, but instead it's Mars. And if you have a really good telescope, you'll be able to actually see it, which I don't. And too bad, so sad. This is all you're going to get, guys. And if there's anything wrong with the stream, just please feel free to let me know at any time. I'll make the adjustments live. And I've just about nailed this whole streaming thing live, of course. Now, you'll see me readjust the camera here and there once in a while just to adjust the moon's position on my screen here so I don't have to constantly adjust. It'll be moving from the bottom left to the upper right as time goes on. Let me just, oop, lost moon there. There we go. Nope. It's like playing Pong. I think that'll just have to do. Okay, there we go. I don't like it that far. We are now about 8 minutes in, and from what I can observe, the bottom left side of the moon is getting progressively darker, whereas the outer rim, the right side, is getting slightly brighter. So we're getting a little bit of a contrast. I may have to move my station here if it continues moving this direction because, again, there's this massive tree in the way. But it shouldn't be that bad. I have enough slack out here to move. I'm broadcasting this actually on a television broadcast camera, so I'm keeping it as pro as I can. At least pro enough, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of older, but whatever, right? This is all about the moon, not the camera. Ever since I was little, I always had a fascination for space. And so when I first went into college, I actually went in as an aerospace engineer, not a computer scientist. And I did that for a while. So it's always been kind of in my blood, so to say. That's why I love this stuff. Every year I used to go out to Griffith Observatory and check out the night sky, check out the telescope, and just, absorb that stuff. Loved it. Still do to this day, obviously. And now really starting to see the left side of the moon getting, you know, really, really dark. Starting to look a little bit like a cookie. Now, if you guys start asking me, like, you know, space questions, I'm going to be like, well, I'll do my best, but if I pull it out of my butt, I'm so sorry. Oh, wow. Now we're starting to get dark here. We're passing over some cloud cover. So I'm like watching, I adjusted the contrast, or sorry, I adjusted the iris of my camera so that you guys can see all the details, but what you're missing out on is actually the cloud cover. There's a really light haze over the moon at the moment. It's just passing over it slightly. So it should brighten back up here in just a minute. Do you think I should play some music, folks? Some nice midnight tune? I don't know if I can right now, but I can certainly try. So again, the apex of this lunar eclipse should happen right around midnight. Maybe a few minutes afterwards, but give or take, it should happen at that time. So right now we're at 11:06 p.m. at night at California, or in California, and I'm starting to see that the moon is about, maybe what, 15% eclipse at the moment, and continuing. It's really pleasant out here at night. Not much, oh man, I'm really starting to get close to that tree. Let me reposition this camera. Because I'd say in about, 10 minutes I'm going to lose it. And I don't want that to happen. So, stand by. I'm going to lose it here in just a second. My apologies in advance. Let me readjust the camera here. Live on camera. That little dot right out there, that's the moon. And in about 1 second, it's still the moon. And I lost it again. Oh, shoot. Okay. Let me lock back onto that. It's really low. It's unacceptable. There we go. And I'm still in focus by the looks of it. Let me just make sure. All right. Yep, we're maximum focus. Maximum focus. And we're repositioned back to normal again. I have my glass of wine out right now and just enjoying the night. Feel free to share any stories about the outdoors or camping or, whatever you please about the night. And I'll be happy to reply to it. I might need to move the camera one more time, but we'll see. Okay, we're about 13 minutes in from the stream. At least that's what the computer's telling me. I darken my monitor here to save some battery so I don't die in the middle of the stream, because that would just suck. Make some minor adjustments here so I can sit down. Okay. And readjusting the camera. Oops. What makes this really hard is that the farther in you zoom, the more sensitive the tripod becomes to movement. And so even just a slight sneeze will set off the position of the tripod. But I got a pretty good one, so it's not going to be too bad. I don't know if you can hear out in the distance, but since I live almost near the boonies, like countryside, there's a lot of wildlife, so to say, because, yeah, I mean, there's not much of anything out here. So, in the distance, I can hear a ton of frogs just, croaking at night. It's kind of, pleasant, but if anybody doesn't like frogs, well, then that's kind of a thing. Going back to the moon, it's starting to look about 20% covered. And Mars is now almost, like I'd say it's in the 1230 position in the sky. So it's almost above it. It's not quite yet. And I hope that tree does not interfere with what I have going on here. It would really suck if I had to chop it down. Just joking. Let me readjust the camera again, folks. 1 second. It's one of those times where you just, wish you had one of those automated camera tripods where you just adjust it using some kind of hydraulic lift. That would just be amazing. But of course, I'm ghetto like that, and I don't have one yet. Now we're starting to see a little bit more here. I'm thinking we're getting about 30% covered now. Again, if you're just tuning in, tonight is a lunar eclipse. So that means it is the Earth's shadow on the moon. So what's going to happen is that the moon is going to exhibit this really blood red nature to it. And not only that, but tonight's kind of an extra special night because not only is the moon going into eclipse, but Mars is also coming into alignment with the moon. So we've kind of got this little, stellar jamboree happening on right now. And what in the world is that? Is that a darn tree cover here? Oh, shoot. So what you're seeing right there on the right is tree cover, which is what I was fearing. Let me readjust here, 1 second. Of course, safely. And zoom out. This tree is going to be my worst enemy tonight, so please bear with me as I readjust my camera here. Not bad. That should buy me another 20 more minutes. There we go. That looks okay. Let me just move my feet around. There we go. Yeah, I think this is a good position right here. It almost feels like spooky ghost story night. We're about 18 minutes now into the stream, roughly. And as you can see, the moon is about 35, maybe about 40% covered at the moment. And Mars is almost there. So what's going to happen is, at about midnight, Mars should be on top of the moon, or behind the moon, and the moon should be a really brilliant blood red color. Yes, Piccolo will destroy the moon. So everybody hold on to your butts because it's about to get ready and Dragon Ball Z up in here. Somebody better get a spirit bomb. Gabe, if you're watching, thank you very much. So yeah, I mean, if you're outside at the moment, or if you have any stories to share about, the moon or camping or anything like that in general, feel free to post it up on the feed and share it with others. And for Trevor watching at the moment, yes, I'm like a space Bob Ross. I just hope I don't put anybody to sleep in the process. So, I mean, if you guys have any questions in general, feel free to let me know and just have a good time. And we are about 25 minutes in, roughly, and the moon's almost half covered at this time. About 40% now, and looking kind of good out there. Nice open skies, not very many clouds. Like a nice lunar journey tonight. And for Gabe's comment on Facebook, yes, Neil deGrasse Tyson, we're one step behind him, but I don't want to say, be cocky and all that. He's a good man. It's a great show. So if you haven't seen it, watch Cosmos. But he's not about the show, so yeah, if you're just watching it for the show, look into who he actually is as a scientist. That man will absolutely blow your mind. He's the stuff that dreams are made of. Adjusting the camera, 1 second. Starting to get a little bit of a haze from the halo here. Like a lot of haze, actually. 1 second, I'm adjusting the iris of the camera. That looks okay right there, I'd say, yeah. Woo! And I just kicked the tripod. Oh, crap. Excuse my language. Go. And for Brad watching, you're very welcome. I'm glad I could have this stream up and running. And I am noticing something quite odd right now. It looks like I've got some tree cover again. So, to fix this, I'm going to do some adjustments. Bear with me 1 second, please. Hopefully this will fix it. That looks pretty good. Okay. So again, throughout the night, you're going to probably notice me adjusting the camera as time goes on because there is a gigantic tree in the way, which completely makes it difficult for me to get this on camera. I just bought myself maybe a few minutes, but we shall see. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them on the YouTube live page, and I will be able to respond to them. Since the YouTube live page has a live feed on it, you can post whatever you feel like. Hi, Kevin. Or Kevo. Brighten up the moon a little bit now that it's getting a little bit dark. Don't want it to bloom too badly. We're about halfway through the night, so the moon's about 50% covered at the moment, and which makes sense because right now it's 11:30 p.m. at night, and at midnight it should be at its apex. There seems to be some kind of haze here at night that's causing this moon to act a little odd, or it actually could be caused from the eclipse that's actually happening. This haze is probably from the reflected light. That's just my assumption, though. Don't count me on that 100%. Let's just adjust this slightly. There we go. And the moon is starting to change color slightly in the process of all of this. The moon now is more than half covered, and it's starting to get a little bit dark out. In case you were wondering where the moon got its name, the moon was actually first called Menulus, or Menuo, which stood for the measurement of the calendar, or the month. So if you think about the name Menulus or Menuno, it's kind of like month, because back in the day, we didn't have our standard months. We probably went off the lunar calendar. And that's how the moon got its name. Another fun fact, let me see if I can remember. The Native American full moon name for the full moon in around February is called the wolf moon. That's the only one that I remember. Let me go ahead and readjust the camera here. One moment, please. And if you're just tuning in at the moment, let me just go ahead and refresh you. So this is the lunar eclipse for February 14th going on to the 15th. And this is a pretty rare occasion. Doesn't happen too often. And I think it might happen 2 more times this entire year, and who knows when the next time might happen again. And not only that, it's not just a lunar eclipse, but also tonight marks the alignment between Mars and the moon. So if you look up in the night sky, you see a little red dot in the distance, right around the moon, maybe northeast slightly. You'll see that that red dot is actually not a star, but instead Mars. That's the planet Mars. We got this whole scary alignment thing going on, and it's freaked out a few people online. It's nothing to be scared about. It happens. It's all part of nature, the randomosity of nature, or in the case of Jurassic Park, chaos theory. Roughly, not exactly pertaining to it, but in a sense. We're looking at the moon now, and it's about, I'd say 60% covered at this time. 11:35 p.m. at night. That gives us about 25 minutes left. True or false? Is there really a dark side to the moon? Let's see if one of you guys can answer with true or false. Is there indeed a dark side to the moon? Again, the question is there really a dark side to the moon? And if so, does it exist? True or false? It may take a little while for me to actually respond back and forth between the live feed and what I'm actually saying at the moment. So if you decide to post and you won't hear anything from me for about 5 minutes, that's probably the reason why. There's a bit of a lag time between what I'm actually telling you and what's actually being shown on YouTube. Let me bump up the brightness a little bit. There we go, that should do it. The answer is actually true, because the moon always faces the Earth. You see, when the moon rotates in this retrograde motion, as we call it, the moon will always face one side towards us. That's why the moon never changes night after night for us. If you look at the moon tonight versus tomorrow versus a week from now, the surface will always look exactly the same. And that's because we can't see the other side. That's the dark side of the moon. And even Michael Bay made a film about the beloved Transformers and the Dark of the Moon, which was an awful, awful, awful movie. It makes me very sad that he makes movies about Transformers and ruins them. But that's a totally different subject. I won't get on that tonight. Well, the moon's starting to get a little dark here. We're about, I'd say, what, 70% now? So it's about 70% covered. It's about 11:40 at night, so that gives us about 20 minutes before the full apex of the eclipse. We're getting there. I just hope it doesn't pass over a tree by the time it hits midnight. Oh, I got another fun fact for all of you tonight. So, the word, back in the day, people used to believe that the moon possessed powers to control people and make them do things that they otherwise wouldn't want to do. So, the word that might sound familiar to you, lunatic, comes from the moon, or the luna, or lunar planet. So lunatic, it literally means to be controlled by the moon. When somebody says they're a lunatic, look up at the night sky. Wow, that moon is getting crazy dark now. Here we go, moment of truth coming up, guys. Let me make sure my camera's properly mounted for this. I'm going to boost up my brightness so you guys can see what's going on, okay? Oh, this is really hard to set up. Please bear with me just a second. Okay, let me bump up the brightness now. And this is as bright as I'm going to get for right now. If I need to, I'll get brighter. I have 3 different little lens inserts I can put in. Look at that. We barely have anything left. About, I'd say, almost 80% covered now. And yes, Kayla, I hope it will look absolutely stunning. It should be happening here within a few minutes. Oh, I got it downrated on YouTube. I wonder who the unhappy person was. Oh well. I guess they just didn't like my soothing voice. And we are approaching that moment in time. It's going to start getting really dark here, folks, so if you don't see anything, not because my camera went bad, because we are nearing that moment in time, and I'm going to make sure my camera's completely centered for this. You're just going to hate, yep. Coming close to that tree. Crud. Alright folks, I'm going to reposition one last time here. So bear with me. I want to make sure that nothing gets covered during this event. Might be okay, actually. But just to be on the safe side, let me zoom out. And make one minor adjustment. I don't want to miss this. could not be better. Look at that. That was smack dab in the middle. All right. That's a good call on my part. Ten minutes remain, folks. 10 minutes. Making one last adjustment here to the camera. Sorry, folks. I know you want to see it. I want to make sure that it's absolutely perfect. Because this does not happen often. Here. Go. Well, that's pretty good. I'd say that's rather acceptable. The moon is about almost 90% covered at this point in time. And it's starting to exhibit this really interesting haze that's really not picked up on the camera at the moment. You can't see it, but it's really interesting looking. It could be from the night sky, who knows? I'm not too sure exactly. And Mars is just about in alignment now. It's in the 2 o'clock position in about, in about 10 minutes. It'll be in the 2 o'clock position, which means it'll be on the ecliptic, meaning everything being aligned, which is super cool. Now, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know at any time. So if you're just tuning in now, if you look up at the night sky right now, you'll see the moon is almost just about completely covered. And just about to the northeast, you'll see a little red dot. That little red dot is actually not a star. It's Mars. And tonight's a special night. It's not only just a lunar eclipse, but the alignment of the moon and Mars. Some minor adjustments here. Starting to get a little eerie out here. And once the moon is fully encompassed, it should have this really resilient red-orange glow. Countdown begins 10 minutes from total lunar eclipse, give or take a few minutes, of course. So we're at about 11:50. 11:51 actually at this point in time, and at about midnight we should be at the apex of the lunar eclipse. Making some minor modifications here. Sorry if the jittery camera's too much for you. Look at that, it's just a little sliver of moon left. It's like the Cookie Monster got a hold of the moon and got really, really hungry. Sorry, readjusting. And try to center this as much as I can, as often as I can. So if you see it shake, that's just me messing around with it. And we got a nice view of the night sky since I moved it. Ooh, it's already starting to get a little bit orange there. Let me bump up the brightness here. There we go. Oh, that's really appropriate. Now you can really see what's going on. Hopefully, my camera will be able to pick it up. We'll find out here in just a minute, guys. Here we go. 5 minutes remain. I might need to make some changes to the camera so you can see it at night, because it's probably going to be very hard to see. Ooh, there it is. There, I boosted up all the brightness I can. It cannot get much brighter than this. Let me just double check. Yeah, that's as good as it's going to get. You kind of start seeing the light there, which is getting kind of creepy there. Not too much longer, Mac LA88. We're moments away from it. In fact, we are about 5 minutes away from it. I'll be flipping through the different filters here to get the optimal color tone here. You won't be able to see it too well just by camera. Here, I think that's as good as it's going to get. As you can see, that's what it kind of looks like at the moment. I'm just bumping up as much brightness as I can so that you guys can see it when it actually does happen. Crap. Sorry, guys. Fantastic. I messed it up. There we go. Sorry, Heist, doing the best that I can. And the moon is just about completely covered at this point in time. It is almost, it's midnight, actually. This is this little sliver there on the corner. I just wish my camera had better image quality so you guys could see it better, but it just, at this point in time, actually, it's really hard to see even with the naked eye. I'd have to get some really just crazy sensitive equipment to see this. It's kind of, it's like a brown, actually, not necessarily a red or a pink. It's like a burgundy color. But it's so faint. It's very difficult to see. It's almost completely blended in with the night environment. And I have my camera very, 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 very sensitive right now. Here we go. Starting to show up, actually. And at this point at night, you can actually see and draw a straight line through the ecliptic from the moon to Mars. They're completely aligned at this moment in time. If you look up at the night sky at about 2 o'clock, you'll see a red dot. That red dot is Mars. Make some minor adjustments here. As bright as it's going to get. I wish it got a little bit brighter. For VGDA, yes, this is a different kind of camera that I'm using at the moment. It's not your standard CCD or CMOS camera. I'm using an older type of equipment, more antiquated, actually. It's vacuum tube driven, so it's a bit of an antique. But it was the only camera that I had that had a very long telephoto to get this close. Well, guys, it is just about fully covered. In about 1 minute, exactly 60 seconds from now, it will be completely eclipsed. And you guys can't see anything, which is a total bummer. You can see it faintly on the camera. Very faintly. But nothing too exciting. And the moon is now becoming a nice, brilliant red color. Problem is that you guys can't see it. Trying different filters out. Sorry, folks. I'm as open as I can get with this camera. Yep. I hear that there's a bit of a cloud cover going on in Long Beach. Is this true? Well, at this point in time, we are completely eclipsed. The moon looks very burgundy brown. It's a little hard to see on this camera. If this ever does happen again, I will try a different camera out. I do have a very nice CMOS-based full-frame imager that I can use next time. See if I can. I didn't bring my other camera out here. But you know, I'll buy it. The moon is very dark out right now. I mean, it's very hard to see, but it looks stunning. Yeah, that is totally dark. Mr. Suro Gamer, you're Brazilian? If so, boa tarde. Oh, boa noite, actually. Night. As for those covered in complete darkness from the cloud cover, I'd be happy to describe what I see, and what I see is absolutely beautiful. It looks like staring directly at Mars at night, as if Mars was a next-door neighbor. It's really quite stunning, beautiful, very dark, like a velvet. I'd love to do a swap right now to see if I can somehow get a more sensitive camera out here. I could detect this. So if you're willing to wait a minute of silence, I could try something. Ah, Mr. Suro Gamer, está chuva agora? Está chovendo? Excuse me. Okay, I'm going to see if I can grab a camera on the fly here, so give me a minute. I'd like for you guys to at least see something. Maybe I might have something that might be slightly more visually acute to this moon color. I've got I've got 30 cameras. I'm going to see if one of the 30 can do the trick tonight, because you guys deserve to see this. One moment. Please stand by. I might actually have something that could be of use, because right now I don't see anything. Alright, folks. I'm going to take this camera offline. You're going to see nothing here for a moment, but it should only be momentarily, because what I'm replacing should hopefully be able to see it. And if not, then I do apologize ahead of time. So, please stand by. I'm not actually offline here, don't worry. You probably can still hear me as I'm switching through these different cameras here. Okay. There we go, that might actually give me something. This is like doing a field dressing for something, I don't know what. Oh no, don't tell me I lost my encoding. Should technically be able to display it. I don't know why it's not wanting to work. I do apologize, folks, for the delay here. Just trying to make sure this works. Alright, well, I'm not getting much of anything using this other camera either. And you guys can't see it either, so it's not like it makes much of a difference. That's disappointing. Okay, sorry guys. Let me go put it back to the original camera here. So we're not going to get anything out of this one either. Shucks. Alright. Back with this older camera. Plug it all back into place again. And we're back. Well, folks, it looks like we don't have a signal. Something might have happened along the way here. Now I have nothing. Oh, I know why. Yay. There we go. Oh, you see some of my backyard. Look at that. How adorable. Well, at this point in time, folks, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Just because, well, the eclipse has happened. And I am now completely covered by tree. So even if I could show you, I wouldn't be able to. So that was it for tonight, folks. If it does happen again, I'll use some different hardware to see if I can see this a bit better. I know there's going to be another one around 3 a.m., which is going to be a little bit difficult for me to do, and another one around 10 p.m. So, with that being said, the next time that it happens, I will find more appropriate hardware. But thank you all for tuning in to the live stream of the eclipse, and thank you for listening to me ramble for well over an hour. And let me just zoom this thing out and leave you all with a proper farewell. If you guys can even see me here, I'm really dark. But thank you all, and ooh, that is quite dark. It's pretty dark out here, so thank you all for joining the stream, and have a great rest of the night. Thank you. You're very welcome to everyone who joined. Thank you and have a fantastic night.